This boot will be released as a couple versions. There's the Hoji Pro Tour, which is kind of the higher end, stiffer, more expensive, more premium material, better liner. And then I believe the next one down is the Hoji PX, which is softer, less costly material and less expensive line. And there will also be a Hoji limited edition, which I'm going to continue to work with them to fine tune based off this platform, a stiffer version yet, but that's still to be determined, exactly what's possible. From the beginning of this project, the goal was, the design intent was improve skiing performance, improve walking performance, improve the user interface. So we started with not a boot that's meant for downhill skiing that can walk, and not a boot that's meant for uphill ski touring that can ski. It was we want both performance targets criteria is met. The Vulcan obviously has the forward stoppers built into the cuff that mount here and interact with the upper portion of the inner shell there, and that actually really helped with the ultralock kind of performance for skiing performance and stiffness kind of, because the cuff could only go to kind of the ski position, and then any other forward ankle mobility and free flex came from a super loose cuff. You had to open up the strap, open up the upper buckle, and deal with a bunch of steps to really get a nice walking performance. So the original concept was, how do we move? I want stoppers, but I want them out of the way. And for skiing performance, I'm sick of this dead kind of slop play that's experienced in all boots, really, with the walk mechanism, because you're having some kind of pin interface into different variations of slots and holes, and there's always a tolerance that's needed to allow that to fit in and out. So at the beginning, all the new boots right out of the box, right off the shelf, always have play. So to accomplish this, the concept was the boot should force itself together in ski position, so that you're starting with basically a preloaded system, and then for the walking performance, you need to move everything out of the way and eliminate as much relative motion and friction between the different components that make up the boot, the cuff and the shell and the spoiler, so that we want to achieve this really free, let's call it like a run and erase cuff, sort of really maximize your ankle mobility, and you need to move everything out of the way and eliminate as much relative motion and friction between the different components that make up the boot, the cuff and the shell and the spoiler, so that we want to achieve this really free, let's call it like a run and erase cuff, sort of really maximize your ankle mobility, and you're not losing any energy while you're walking, and you get a more natural stride, of course. So this was accomplished by developing kind of a linear motion of this inner, call it the spoiler, and that the spoiler provides the backstop and internally two forward stops, and as you move it up, those interfaces move completely out of the way and give you a really super free moving cuff. As you pull that down, and we'll look inside in a minute, but the rear stop comes into play, and as well as simultaneously the forward ones, and it's actually, you can think of it as like driving a wedge into something. So you get to a certain point and it's fully blocked, and then through a mechanical advantage of this linkage here, you're able to apply a preload and finally end up with a shell that's truly connected to the cuff for skiing.